AMD's Ryzen CPUs have been a great option for Star Citizen for a long time now, but today I want to look at how the upgrade path is if you're on a slower, older Ryzen CPU. A while ago, we looked at all of them from the 1000 series upwards, and we found that the 1000 series and 2000 series of Ryzen CPUs just aren't really good enough to play Star Citizen right now. So today I've retested the 3600, 5600, which I've added recently, and the 5800 X3D, just to show you how performance would improve if you were to upgrade, especially to the 5800 X3D. And then also a little bonus further on, I've got a little sneak peek of some 7800 X3D performance compared to those CPUs as well. They've all been tested with the same motherboard, same RAM, same GPU. None of them are GPU bottlenecked. We've got the 4080 in there. We're testing at 1080p as you normally do for CPUs, and we are on 319.1 live. You'll see as the results come up in the background that generally the scaling is kind of as you'd expect. Each generation, if we count the X3D as its own generation, goes up as you kind of would expect. All are playable for Star Citizen. The minimum spec, I would say, would be the 3600 on the AMD side, but they're all pretty good. There are some results where the 5800 X3D stretches its legs, the 3D V-cache can really get going, but somewhere that isn't the case. Interestingly, it seems as though Horizon is getting a bit easier for CPUs to run. When I've done these tests in the past, they've struggled much more, especially on the render thread C. And when we get to Lawville, the place where I do the most testing, again, you'll see good performance from all of them, scaling as you expect. Lawville has got even harder to run though, and so in the past you'd expect higher results than these, but now with the Lawville Redux, whatever they're calling it, it's just a really hard place for a CPU. But all of them are averaging over 30 FPS and all very, very playable in the cities. The big spanner in the works, if you are going to look at upgrading from, say you've got a 2600, you're looking, what am I going to upgrade to? The big question is, do you stick with AM4? So big jump in performance if you were to go to a 5600 or a 5800 X3D. But let's just insert one sneak peek of the 7800 X3D. You'll see here at Lawville, it's massively better than the 5800 X3D. If you're on AM4, I've been saying this for a long time, if you're on AM4 already and you've got first gen, second gen or third gen Ryzen CPU, you're thinking, do I go just up to the 5800 X3D, which has come down in price quite a lot, or do you say, well, I'm going to just make the jump to AM5? Now, AM5 has had its own problems. I've become a victim of this as well. My motherboard has just stopped working, so that's been a pain and has paused all my AM5 CPU testing. It is getting there. The initial issues with the CPUs exploding is fixed, but generally, when AMD especially release CPUs on a new platform, it can take a year or so to become stabilized. So you could argue that waiting is a good option with AM5. But if you're wanting top-notch performance, keep an eye out for my 7800 X3D review. We'll be comparing it with the 7950X 3D as well as the 7700X, just to see how they all perform. That's coming soon, so subscribe if you're not. That's coming in the next few weeks. But it is a question. If you're money conscious, there's a great upgrade path on AM4. If you've got a 3600 and you were to pop in 5800 X3D, you're going to get a lot more performance in Star Citizen. But you are at the end of the road. There's no more AM4 CPUs coming, apart from maybe if you're in America, this random 5600 X3D, which I imagine would perform pretty close to the 5800 X3D. So up to you. Just some information here this week, just to show you just how you can improve performance on AM4 if you are to upgrade.